G'day, Philippa. Thanks for the comment. Were there any specific modalities or tools that I used to help move towards an abundance mindset? I've spent a lot of time on this, and as a finance guy, I've done a lot of research and study into behavioral finance principles. And there's a few fundamental principles that play out for us that ultimately keep us stuck in scarcity-based thinking, that ultimately get in the way of us creating true financial freedom. So the first fundamental principle that we need to understand is the idea of confirmation bias, okay? The things that we believe, the things that we think will ultimately dictate the filters in which we look at the world, right? As Confucius famously said, he who said he can and he who said he can't are both right. So my philosophy on this is that most scarcity-based thinking is a negative feedback loop. It typically starts from a position of envy, feeling like others have what we don't have. You see so many of these people in this negative feedback loop that complain of luck and being dealt bad cards and finding themselves in a position that other people have more opportunity than them and sorry little of me. And this perpetuates this idea that the world is a zero-sum game, that in order for they've lost because somebody else has won. And this is a very flawed idea of thinking. The first thing that needs to happen is there needs to be a shift in thinking, even if it's kind of a little bit of faking it till you make it. This is where positive affirmations have a lot of value, right? We want to try and state the realities that we want. We want to say the things that we want to be true in the world, because when we start to say these things, when we start to manifest these things, we start to believe these things, it shifts the way that we look at the world and the opportunities that tend to present themselves. I've spent a lot of time focusing on thinking about the things that I want. I'm a powerful manifester. Now, my old man always said to me, what you can perceive, you can conceive. So I perceive whatever I want and I make it happen. The second thing is understanding loss aversion bias. As human beings, we are resource guarders by nature. And what that means is that we feel the emotion of loss twice as significantly as the emotion of a gain. And this is why the vast majority of people basically oscillate between being in financial battle, where they're struggling to keep their head above water, they're trying not to drown, and financial comfort, where they're treading water, where they've kind of got a little bit of comfort, they've got making ends meet, but then they never get beyond that to financial growth. The reason for this is once they get to comfort, they don't want to lose comfort, and they don't want to get out of that comfort zone. What ultimately ends up happening is they drop back into battle, and they spend this perpetual cycle going through that roller coaster ride. The idea here is that if we want to get out of the loss aversion, the bias of that twice as significant emotion of resource guarding, we need to put twice as much effort as a bare minimum into what we're trying to actually achieve and why we are trying to achieve it. So one of the exercises that I developed is called the 20-year roadmap. It's about getting crystal clear on your goals, dreams, and aspirations over 1, 5, 10, 15, and 20 years. If you jump in my bio and click on the link, there's a whole heap of resources, including that you'll be able to get access to. And I redo this exercise every 90 days. I create a 1-year wealth letter, which basically outlines all of the goals that I want to achieve in the next 12 months across my business and my career, my lifestyle, my personal pursuits and my finances. And since I've been doing this, I've achieved 90% of the goals that I set out to achieve. Because once again, whatever I perceive, I conceive. I focus on putting more effort into the realities that I want to create in my life, and that moves me away from the situations that I don't want. And then it's also about improving the quality of my mindset and my ideas. I'm constantly learning. I'm constantly looking for ways to elevate my mindset, elevate my knowledge, to equip me with the best possible tools to make the best choice on life's menu. And I don't get caught up in failure. Failure is inevitable, because this is another thing, because the resource guarding people don't like to fail. Where failure is necessary when it comes to pursuing growth. I treat this as a big game. I am not fearful of losing everything. I could have everything taken away from me. I wouldn't lose a wink of sleep, and I'd wake up the next day and build it all again. Forgive my pug in the background. So the idea here is that if we understand the confirmation bias, if we understand the loss aversion bias, if we remove the fear of failure and we focus on failing forward and failing fast, then this is the perfect mixing pot towards creating an abundant mindset and also an abundant financial position. Thanks for the question. Any questions, let me know.